from London. Londoners never win. On the right hand side we have a building called the Royal Festival Hall, the last remaining building from the Festival of Great Britain. Throughout the years, the likes of Michael Jackson, Elton John, Amy Winehouse and even Frank Sinatra, they have all performed inside the Royal Festival Hall. If you have your cameras on you, on the left hand side will be the oldest thing of interest I'll be pointing out this afternoon. We have a stone obelisk. It's called Cleopatra Needle, 3,500 years old, older than the city of London itself. Cleopatra Needle was given as a gift from a very thankful Egyptian government celebrating Lord Nelson's victory against Napoleon and the French at the Battle of the... And the twin, they made the needles in pairs. Central Park, New York. The next bridge is called Waterloo Bridge, the longest bridge spanning a quarter of a mile. This bridge was built during the Second World War. All the men away fighting the war, so constructed by a female workforce. So we like to call it the Ladies' Bridge of London. And you'll be pleased to know, ladies, the only bridge that was built on time and, of course, under budget as well. So well done to the ladies. Give yourself a round of applause. During hard times as well. So you follow the buildings on the right hand side of us. We have a concrete building with an electronic flashing signboard, London's National Theatre. But you wouldn't think so to look at it. Most people tend to think it's a multi-storey car park. An old saying, they say, never judge a book by its cover. Yet a prize to that building, as inside we have 3 of the best theatres in the entire country. The area of London on the right is the South Bank of London. We have a nice pathway along the South Bank. You can walk along the banks of the Thames. We have outdoor markets, bars, restaurants along the South Bank of London. So an area for tourists. On the left hand side we have a large white vessel with a yellow funnel called the Wellington, a former Navy vessel for New Zealand, and moored here today in London as a floating livery hall. And basically that just means a drinking club for retired sea captains. He must have been a captain at sea for 25 years. The head, King Charles III, the king is the head. We often see King Charles and his wife Camilla stumbling around the front deck of the Wellington, reenacting scenes from the Titanic when they've had 1 too many. On the left as well, we have silver dragons on the left hand side. That's a boundary marker between the city of Westminster and the city of London. So we've entered the city of London now, the 1 square mile, one of the smallest and wealthiest cities in the entire world we have just entered. If you follow the right hand side on the right, you actually have one of London's best kept secrets. You can see a golden sandy beach. The typical Londoner's day out, that is. You often see children, like they are now, paddling in the polluted River Thames, sunbathing, building sandcastles, enjoying their weekend. Your Londoner's day out. The red brick building on the right with the Oxo Tower, an old warehouse called Stamford Wharf. They used to make the Oxo gravy inside. Where the glass canopy is, at the top of the building, we have a nice restaurant up there called the Harvey Nichols Oxo Tower Restaurant, said to be in the top 10. Amazing views from the top as well. Follow the buildings on the left. We have a building with a green sloping roof. The old City of London School for Boys, a prestigious school years ago. It's now offices for a bank, an American bank called JP Morgan. If you look up to your right hand side now, we have a skyscraper, one of London's newest skyscrapers, the one with the curve. The building is called One Blackfriars. Inside we have apartments, a residential building. The penthouse apartment on the top floor, £27 million. The higher up you go, the more expensive the apartments get. But the reason is, you pay for the views overlooking London. So amazing views from the top. And that's what you pay for. As we pass beneath the bridges here, either side the bridge we have red columns in the centre. These red columns are the remains of the old railway bridge. It carried steam trains into London from Chatham and Dover in Kent. They carefully removed the top of the old railway bridge that carried steam trains as it became unsafe for modern trains. They kept the pillars either side as removing them would disturb the foundations of the bridges we have here today. On the right hand side we have a building with a tall chimney, the old Bankside power station, refurbished into Tate Modern, a modern art museum, free to enter and have a walk around inside. They say when you go inside, walk around for 5 minutes, you'll soon realise why it's free to enter. If you follow the buildings on the left now, we have a dome and a golden cross. Building is called St. Paul's Cathedral, the masterpiece of Sir Christopher Wren. St. Paul's took 35 years to build, and it stands 360 feet tall. Easy to remember, 1 foot for every day of the entire year. Sir Christopher Wren, the architect, buried inside St. Paul's Cathedral. You can see a service inside as well, St. Paul's, and what an experience to go and see a service inside St. Paul's Cathedral. Millennium Bridge, we pass beneath, built in the year 2000, the Millennium year. This bridge was destroyed by the Death Eaters in the Harry Potter film Half-Blood Prince. So we call it the Harry Potter Bridge for any Harry Potter fans. If you follow the buildings on the right now, on the right hand side we have a replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It took a total of 25 years to get planning permission from the council to build the replica here on this site. Due to the roof of the theatre is made out of a material called thatch, all made banned ever since the Great Fire. They reenact Shakespeare's plays inside in the traditional way, so there's no microphone inside. There's even no toilets inside the theatre as well. So they say, remember to pee or not to pee. The next bridge is called Southwark Bridge, built to ease congestion from London Bridge. They call this one the least used bridge, as the approaching roads are so well hidden, nobody can find the entrance. Not very busy, as you can see. If you see anyone walking along there, most probably lost. Mainly used by drivers to avoid London's traffic. The area of London on the right, and follow the buildings on the right, is called Southwark. We have a nice market here along the south bank called Borough Market. And the building on the right with red window frames with the Anchor written on the top, one of the oldest riverside pubs. The Anchor Tavern has starred in a few movies and a few films. Just to name you a few you may have heard of: Mission Impossible, James Bond, Getting Him to the Green. Us crew, an old tradition, myself and the captain, us crew at work on this boat, we often visit the Anchor after work. We like to research the commentaries inside the Anchor Tavern. If you follow the buildings on the right, we have Pickford's Wharf. Wharf, it stands for Warehouse at River Front. And I just made that up. I'm on for the children on board as a wooden pirate ship on the right. That's a fully working replica of Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind. Sir Francis Drake was the first Englishman to navigate the globe. In fully order is a replica. That one has also been around the globe, taking the exact same route as Sir Francis Drake did, carrying the exact same number of crew, 82. The next bridge is called London Bridge. London Bridge is commonly mistaken by many people for Tower Bridge. This is the 5th London Bridge to span here in 2,000 years. The first one, built by the Romans, called Londinium, burnt down. Most of the others, they fell down. Reason for London Bridge is falling down, a nursery rhyme. Apart from one, the 4th one, in America today, it got sold. An American oil tycoon bought the bridge, took it down, took it to America through the Atlantic Ocean, rebuilt brick by brick over Lake Havasu in the Arizona desert. True story that as well. Most people think it's made up. It's true. There's 2 London bridges. Up to the right we have the tallest building called the Shard. Inside the Shard we have a 5-star hotel called the Shangri-La Hotel. We also have a viewing platform on the 72nd floor. Restaurants, offices, bars and apartments as well. If you look to your left, London skyline. The building that gets wider as it gets taller. We like to call it the walkie-talkie. At the top we have a sky garden called London Sky Garden, a viewing platform, and it's free to enter. So if you book it online, Google London Sky Garden, you can go up there free of charge. London Skyline as well, got the likes of the cheese grater, the can of ham and the gherkin on the left as well. If you are planning to go to the London Sky Garden, choose a day like today. A day with clear skies. You get the best views over London on a beautiful day like today. So we don't normally get weather like this, but try your best to go on a day like today. If you follow the right hand side now, we have HMS Belfast on the right. HMS Belfast was built in the same shipyard as the Titanic, the ill-fated Titanic. The Harland and Wolff shipyard in Northern Ireland, Belfast. The Belfast fired her guns in anger during World War II and the Korean War. A museum today, part of the Imperial War Museums, are open to the public. Inside we have a total of 9 decks that you can explore. If you follow the left, we have London's most famous, most popular tourist attraction. The building is called the Tower of London. Has been many things throughout its time. So it used to be a royal mint. It used to make money inside the tower. Most famously remembered as a place of execution, imprisonment and torture. You can see entry to the Traitor's Gate written on the wall, a bricked archway. That's the only thing that you cannot see within the tower itself. Traitor's Gate was once a fully serviceable archway. If you was a traitor to the crown, you'll be rode through Traitor's Gate. Inside the tower, where your head would be removed inside. And if you was famous those days, it didn't end there. Your head dipped in a barrel of tar, placed on a wooden spike, displayed on London Bridge by one of traitors committing treason. pretty gruesome, and they don't do that anymore. That was hundreds of years ago, so they don't do that anymore. They try to rehabilitate people now instead. The captain has just signalled the boat, meaning we are turning. If you get your cameras ready on the right, you get a nice photograph of Tower Bridge. A Tower Bridge was designed in the Gothic style, surrounding the Tower of London. So the centre parts you can see forming the roadway, they open into two. They lift to allow big boats in and out of the upper pool of London. If you've never seen the bridge open, you can simply Google Tower Bridge lifting times. They have a website online. It will tell you the time and date of when the bridge is next scheduled to open on the website online. So it does open 364 days of the entire year. There's only one day Tower Bridge is not allowed to open. Does anyone know what day Tower Bridge is not allowed to open? Yeah, most people, they think Christmas Day. That's what most people tend to think. When most things do close down, it's not Christmas Day, it's the day of the London Marathon. 40,000 runners run across Tower Bridge, so they deem it unsafe to open. A bit of a travel information, a bit of very important travel information and safety as well. So as you can see, the boat does tend to wobble as we make our way alongside. Try to remain seated. A bit of travel information. So this boat will be going downriver behind us to Greenwich. So if you have a ticket for Greenwich, stay on the boat. It's going to take us half an hour. We have a half an hour break, half an hour to return, so hour and a half. If you have a big bus ticket, your big bus is at the top of a tower pier. Returning boats back to Westminster, boarding point A, we have returning boats. Please take this time to gather your personal belongings as well. So have a look around for your personal belongings. That does include your children as well. So please don't leave your children behind. I was left here and I was put to work the very next day. I thank you all for your kind attention. Just a final word.